Hello everyone, and welcome back to KDH Art Class. We've been focusing on colors, color theory, the color wheel, all that good stuff. We've talked about the primary colors, the three most important colors in the art world: red, yellow, and blue. Because if you don't have those three, you can't make all the other colors out there. So we're going to focus on analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Red is next to orange, which is next to yellow. They would be analogous, next to each other. Orange is next to yellow, that's next to green. They would be analogous colors. Yellow is next to green, that's next to blue. They would be analogous colors. I think you're getting the idea. Blue is next to purple, which is next to red, and they would be analogous colors. They are your neighbors. You're like touching each other, something we can't do in 2020 during this COVID crisis. So we're going to let our colors be best friends and hang out with each other today. Today we're going to do a really fun project. All ages can do it. I've done it from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade, and it's amazing how much they just love doing this project. So you're going to need a coffee filter. Let's start with the most basic thing. A coffee filter. You could even cut out a paper towel or use a section of paper towel, anything that's going to help spread the colors once you get them wet. You need a way to get them wet, either a wet wash rag, or be careful, it can stain your wash rag, so be careful on that. So maybe a wet paper towel, or I happen to have a spray bottle, or if you don't have the markers and you have the watercolor paints, this would work as well. You could even use a paintbrush with water to get it to spread it out. Lots of options out there. Today I'm going to be showing you with markers, coffee filter, and of course a piece of paper. So the analogous colors that I chose are basically going from blue to red. So I have my blue, I have my red, which of course make purple. Okay. So then you have like all these kind of, purple colors in there, different blue colors in there, and then you have the magenta in there. And of course, if I was to take the red and add white, I would also get that color in there. So any of these would work. I might even be able to squeeze this one in because this is teal, which is kind of the blue and green. So these are all neighbors, and I'm going to use them to color my coffee filter. So with that, let's begin. Let me move all my stuff out of the way. Move my color wheel out of the way, since we know analogous colors are colors that are next to us. We've already talked about which colors I'm going to use. So I love putting my coffee filter on a nice clean white piece of paper, because not only will the colors get all over the coffee filter, but they're going to go through the coffee filter onto the paper, and you'll actually get two artworks for the one. You use whatever you have around there. You can just do the coffee filter, put it on some newspaper, or put it on a plastic tablecloth, something that's going to, you need to put it on something that's going to protect the surface. I actually happen to have my piece of paper, I have a piece of poster board, and I'm on top of a plastic table cover, because yes, I like doing messy things. Okay, so there are no rules. All you have to do is get the color onto the coffee filter however you want. I would recommend, don't do a picture. It's not going to stay a picture. It's going to blur everywhere. You could do, circles, polka dots, stripes, just color in areas. I think I'm going to go after, like maybe a Kandinsky, circles upon circles, just because I happen to have a nice round coffee filter. So it's just going with the whole round thing. So you could do it this way, or again, you could make your own. I think I'm moving on to red. I'm really impressed with these little markers. They were a hand-me-down from a college student going on to college, and her family asked if I wanted her art materials, and of course I'm like, yes, I'm an art teacher. Don't you know that we're hoarders? It's like we can't get enough. And I'm moving on to my purples, and I actually have two different kinds of purples here. And again, you can be doing it any way you want. You can just, this is one of the few times, I don't want to say scribble scrabble, but if you just want to color in a dark area, you can do that and just color it in. You just want to fill your coffee filter up with color. And again, I'm going with analogous colors, so I'm going from the reds to their neighbor purple. And I just happen to have a couple different purples. I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to art supplies. I would love to live on a budget and have more art supplies than have more things with less art supplies. I'm strange that way. Okay. Oh, this is a pretty blue. This is like the ceruleum, one of my favorite blue colors because it's so bright and cheery. But obviously it was that little girl's favorite color too, because this one's just about all used up and dried up. It's okay. This is great for this. And I kind of like the idea that I'm going to have some light stuff in there. I need to remember to throw that one away. And again, you could just simply, since I'm on my last color blue, just simply do lines, blocks of color, all that good stuff. And let's see, I have one more color. Oh, it's kind of the same as that one, except this one's more teal. So I'm going to go right on the edge. I do recommend you get that edge color. Then you'll have a nice little circle. Now we're sneaking up on the holiday season here, so I'm actually going to turn this into something that's kind of holiday related, but keep in mind you'll be able to do other things that are not holiday related. I'll probably end up coming back to this project and turning it into the shell of a snail or any of that stuff. Let's see, I have these colors in between. I think I'm going to just go ahead and add a few more colors in here. I'm that art teacher that's always just like, I don't want to see that white paper showing. You need to cover most of it, if not all of it, up. And I think it's cute when my students are talking and helping out new students to the school, and they're like, oh no, Miss Howard that one's not done. She's going to tell you to keep going. You need to fill up all the white paper. All right, I'll of red, a little bit of red. And again, just color, color, color. You do not have to do it this way. Maybe I'll change it up and put some blue in between some of these. And of course, purple. And the more saturated, as in the more you fill it up with color, the better it's going to look. All right, at this point, you have all your choices. Should have had this thing open. You could take just a paintbrush and some water and just start spreading it on, or in my case, I happen to have this water bottle that leaks everywhere. Didn't take long for this dollar store bottle to go bad. And I'm just spraying my coffee filter and getting it nice and wet. Right. So you're really going to want this to, you can see where the spray is just shotted out. Let this thing soak and dry. But we're on a little bit of a time crunch here. So I normally have the kids take these over to an area, the drying rack in my room, and they set it on the drying rack and we just leave it alone, you know, till the end of the day, and then I put it away in their boxes, and then they can get them the next time they come. They're all dry and ready to go. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I haven't done this, so I might end up doing this with my students as well, since, again, we've been kind of instructed as art teachers, you may not want to keep the kids' artwork in the classroom, cross-contamination, although they say 3 days later, the COVID virus is no longer alive on the papers, or the markers, or the glue sticks, or whatever else we're using, so that, you know, children can touch it again. So it's strictly up to you. So I'm absorbing some extra of that liquid up as much as I can to help it out. And now, let's see what we have. Ooh, we just did a mono print. I got one print out of this, and a mono print on this side. Oh, I'm loving this. Now, keep in mind, yours will hopefully be dry, and you'll be able to do all kinds of wonderful things with this. We like to turn them into flowers and such. So let me set this to the side. Now that you've seen our beautiful artwork, and I'll be able to do, I'll be able to do my two little projects with this. So doesn't that already look like a Christmas ornament? So there we go. We would need to decorate this. Again, it could also be a snail shell. Look, it's still wet and dripping. I'm going to make the drips come back towards the center. Oh yeah, that's so pretty. It could even be, you know, eyes. Eyes are something the students like to make. But whatever you choose to do it, or you can cut it up and turn it into a mosaic, all kinds of stuff. Whatever you decide to make, it is entirely up to you. Ooh, let me go ahead, since this thing's still wet, switch to a marker that is not going to mind if it gets wet. My paper's still all wet here. So this was an alcohol-based marker. So I can sit there and go ahead and create my little ornament. Oops. And I can even outline it. And what's beautiful about this is you don't have to do it exactly on the line. It almost looks a little bit better. A little off center. Because in my world, when it's not perfect, it's perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. Give it a little highlight reflection. Oh, I forgot to. I'm going to close that off. And voila! You have yourself a beautiful ornament, or turn it into a snail that has a beautiful shell. Make a cute little snail head and little, I guess it's their tail coming out the bottom, or whatever. Or whatever you want to turn it into. I hope you enjoy this project. It's so much fun. And again, once your coffee filter dries, you can turn it into a little flower. And I usually do that simply by grabbing the center, giving it a little twist, and you can take a pipe cleaner or a little piece of wire and put it on a stem. You can even attach it to a pencil or a marker, and you've seen those people that give the little bouquets of flowers, but they're really markers and pencils. It's a great little gift that you can give to someone that needs to have their day brightened up with something beautiful. Have a great day, keep creating, and I look forward to doing our next art lesson together. Bye.